Hello everybody, this is General Yanis, and today in Death Card Tactics I'm bringing you a small battle report, Death Card versus Eldar, 650 points, a combat patrol, post-battle analysis, and it's part of the Crusade that I'm engaged on with the Death Card. So let's get started. So today, the 13th of April, Tuesday, which is actually a bad luck day in Greece, Tuesday the 13th, not Friday the 13th. But two Crusade battles were fought over the weekend, and now I'm trying to make some post-battle analysis. So we played the 650 points combat patrol in the Crusade mode. And if you're interested to find out more information about the Crusade, you can watch the videos 1 through 4 explaining the house rules and some previous battles. So in this video, I'm looking at the Death Guard versus the Eldar facing off. So will the resilience and might or toughness of the Death Guard beat the speed and the psychic prowess of the Eldar? Let's take a look. So let's start with briefly looking at the 650 points army list. So I have a patrol with Plaguecaster as the HQ choice, 5 Plague Marines as the troops, one has the flail, one has the Blight Launcher, the champion has the Power Fist and the Plasma Gun. It's the easy to build champion, one of my favorite models for Plague Marine champions at least. We have a Foul Blight Spawn with a Revolting Stench Vats as the elite choice to provide the bubble of us fighting first. We have the Plaguebear Scroller that has been mostly the most valuable unit so far in the Crusade, really tough and really high damage with the Mortar and the Entropy Cannons and Slugger Cannon. And then the newly added 3 Deathshroud Terminator, one of the probably one of the best and most fun units in our new Codex. And you can see here the Plaguecaster is in the Wretched Plague Company, so he has upgrades, so he can reroll 1 psychic test per turn, and his Pestilential Fallout does D3 mortal wounds, not 1 mortal wound, because I used the Sevenfold Blessing and the Demon's Favor relic and stratagem upgrade stratagem. And because this is the 3rd game in the Crusade, some of the units already have some battle ranks, so I can reroll once to hit with the Plague Marines, and I can reroll once to hit with the Plaguebear Scroller, really good, and the Mortar is +1 to hit with a very good weapon upgrade. Then, my Plaguecaster has the Miasma of Pestilence, Curse of the Leper, and Gift of Plagues spells. And then the Eldar have a Farseer Skyrunner. They have, for troops, they have the Dire Avengers with an Exarch. They have a fast attack Viper. They have a Wave Serpent Transport, very cool looking model, fast and good transporter. They have a heavy support, 1 Workwalker, that's the new addition for 650 points, and a Warlock Skyrunner, a supportive spellcaster that can increase the damage and the psychic powers of the Farseer Skyrunner. So the mission we were playing was Survey and Secure from Pierce the Veil, a mission Crusade pack in the Pariah Nexus, let's say. So this is the deployment zone on a 44 by 30 inch battle map, 18 inch in the center of the battlefield. We have the players deploying in the long edges. There will be 3 objectives. 1 will be in the center, and then the players, attacker and defender, place 1 each. And in this scenario, the objectives can be locked down by an action that infantry unit can do, excluding characters, and the action is completed at the next command phase as long as there is no enemies within this objective marker. And the points are scored that you get 10 points if you control 1 or more objective markers, and you get 10 points if you control a lockdown objective, and you can get 10 more points if you have locked down all the 3 objectives. And then the victory bonus, if you win, you can select 2 units in the Crusade army to be marked for greatening, so they will be getting 3 XP. So a good victory bonus for this map. And then we also selected Crusade agendas. We still play the combat patrol, so 1 agenda per army to keep it simple. For Death Guard, I selected priority target, which gives a unit that destroys a vehicle 2 experience points. and my enemy has the Eldar have 3 vehicles, so if I can bring those down, I would be getting 6 experience point in my army for some units. And then the Eldar, they selected breakthrough. It gives experience points for up to 3 units at the end of the game that are in the enemy battlefield edge. So in the deployment phase, we built the scenery here, and we have the 3 objective markers. The one in the middle, one close. We put one was close into the Eldar deployment zone, and the one is close to the Death Guard deployment zone. The objectives have to be in the middle, not in the deployment zone, and they cannot be on the edges. The Eldar have the Dire Avengers inside the transport. And the War Walker has an ability to start outside of the field, and he can come in from turn 2 in any battlefield edge 3 inches from the edge. All units were deployed. Let's say we deployed one by one, but in the end, all the units were deployed in one of the corners of the map close to this objective. And as I saw the Eldar putting the vehicles here, I put also my Plaguebearer Scroller on the opposite side. So I put the Plague Marines and the Foul Blight Spawn in this corner here to come out and lock down this objective. So you can see them, they are hiding neatly inside here. And then the Plaguebearer Scroller, the Death Shroud Terminators, and the Plague Caster come on this side. If I get the first turn, my idea is to come close here, move up here and start doing some damage here. And due to the difference in Crusade points, the Eldar will be starting with 5 command points for the game, and Death Guard, I had 3 command points, and I won the dice roll, and I got the first turn kicking off the game. So in the first turn, the first turn of Death Guard is seldom fireworks, let's say. So it was quite a easy going first turn. So I moved the Plague Marines to come into range of this objective, so they could start doing the lockdown. So the Plague Marines are doing this action, and as long as there is nothing that can come close to this objective, and it doesn't seem that they can reach so far, I would be able to lock it down for my next turn, trying to get to be able to start scoring points early, my thought. On the other side, I advance my Death Shroud, rolling a 1, so only 6-inch movement. They cannot shoot or anything. They don't come in range to shoot, and they basically, I don't even think they were within exactly 3 inches of this objective. The Plague Caster, I advanced him as well. I rolled a 5, I think, but I didn't want to get him very far off, so I just moved him close to the Death Shroud to be able to be within 18 inches of the transporter, to be able to cast some psychic powers, etc. And the Plaguebearer Scroller moves also up to be able to get line of sight and shoot the Wave Serpent. In the psychic phase, I succeeded, I think, in casting a Super Smite with a free reroll, but I only rolled 1 for the damage for the Wave Serpent, and the Miasma of Pestilence is denied. The Eldar, they can deny a few. They can attempt to deny every time I'm casting some powers. I can cast 2 powers. They can deny 3 powers. The Psykers here combined. Then the Plaguebearer Scroller in the shooting. The Plaguebearer Scroller shot everything at the Wave Serpent. I used the Disgusting Force stratagem on the Mortar because I wanted also to deal mortal wounds on the surrounding characters and the surrounding units. But I only managed to do very few wounds with the Mortar itself. But I managed to put mortal wounds on the surrounding units. And then the Entropy Cannons, they missed horribly, so I could have done a lot of damage, but basically I ended the first turn a bit exposed on this flank, well underway with the mission here, but only doing 1 or 2 wounds on the fast Eldar army. So in the Eldar turn 1, the Eldar watching these tough Terminators, the Plaguebearer Scroller and the Plague Caster advancing towards them, decide a better course of action is to try to shift sides, and they jetted off towards the middle. The Farseer maybe went a bit too far. He wants to shoot at the Plaguebearer Scroller. He wants to control this objective, but here are the Plague Marines that can come out in the next turn. The Viper here, and the Wave Serpent moves so that these units cannot shoot the Farseer himself. As I said, I was fearing that maybe the Eldar would come and try to attack my exposed Playcaster, maybe with psychic powers, maybe mortal wounding some of the Death Shroud, but they chose another route. In the psychic phase, the Warlock can cast some ability so that he gives +2 to the casting spells of the Farseer. So that succeeded. I didn't untap to deny that one. And the Farseer cast successfully Doom on the Plaguebear Scroller, which will allow all the Eldar shooting at the Plaguebear Scroller to reroll the wound roll. And this is really good for a toughness 8 unit, let's say. And then the Farseer cast a Smite, but despite the +2 and a +1 for the stratagem, the Plaguecaster managed to intercept and deny that psychic spell, saving some mortal wounds for the Plaguebear Scroller. And then all the Eldar unleash their shooting on the Plaguebear Scroller, but only managed to do 4 wounds and rolling a bit bad for the damage. But it's really tough to make a lot of wounds on the toughness 8 Plaguebear Scroller with Disgusting Resilience. So in the death card turn 2, the Plague Marines complete their action, locking down this objective and move out of the ruins together with a Foul Blightspawn in order to be able to shoot at either the Farseer or the Transporter here. The Death Shroud move to 5 inches so they can make a charge on the Wave Serpent in the fight phase. In the charge phase, the Plaguebear Scroller moving, falling back a little bit here to allow the Death Shroud to move better and to have line of sight to, for example, the Viper here. The Plaguecaster advances to come closer here, also to be within 12 inches to be able to do the Fallout abilities. So he puts Miasma of Pestilence on the Death Shroud, which deals mortal wounds on the Wave Serpent, and then the Smite itself is denied by the Farseer here. In shooting phase, the Plaguebear Scroller takes out the Viper with its cannons, and I think the mortar with Disgusting Force again was shot around this area again. And the Wave Serpent with some combined shooting was only left with a couple of wounds in the fight phase. The Plague Marines the Foul Blightspawn he shoots on the Farseer, bringing him almost down to very little wounds, and the Plague Marines get the kill with a Blight Launcher, as I recall it. So the Farseer and the Viper now is out. The Wave Serpent is very damaged. So the Death Shroud make the charge, and in the fight phase, the Wave Serpent is securely destroyed using the scything attack. So there was multiple attacks, and of course, not all of them could be saved. But then the Wave Serpent explodes on a 6 by the Eldar player. It kills a Death Shroud with a D3 mortal wounds, but also it kills the Warlock. Also, additionally, he only had 1 wound left, so he got some mortal wounds. So there was really a bloody turn, and 2 Dire Avengers try to do emergency disembarking and are killed with ones. So basically, the situation is then that all these units were gone in the turn 2, and then this is at the end of turn 2. The Dire Avengers they control the middle objective, but they are very close to the Death Shroud, and they are quite surrounded. Not very much on the table for the Eldar now after a very good turn 2 for Death Guard. And at the end of the turn, Death Guard scored 20 points for holding 1 objective, or at least 1 objective, and holding at least 1 lockdown, having locked down the objective. So in the Eldar second turn, the main force of the Eldar has been obliterated, and the Eldar try to score some tallies, maybe trying to get some kills and delay the inevitable here. The Dire Avengers wheel around. There's no point in chasing victory points in the game now. The Dire Avengers move out here to try to charge the Plaguebear Scroller and lock it down. So maybe the War Walker that arrives from from its deep strike ability from the edges here can maybe shoot and maybe do something before the Plague Scroller is freed. Now the plague caster has been left behind by the Death Shroud Terminators. No one to protect him. So in the shooting phase, the War Walker just kills the plague caster. It's difficult when the plague caster doesn't have any invul saves or very good saves exposed to this heavy weaponry of the War Walker. The Dire Avengers, they charge, and I use Overwatch here, and I was a bit lucky with some sixes here and there, so I killed a couple of them off with the mortar now that can also Overwatch and some of the cannons. And in the fight phase, the Dire Avengers cannot manage to wound the Plague Scroller, and the Plague Scroller I think killed one back. So at the end, the Dire Avengers were only 4 left, and then they failed their morale, and only 2 were left in engagement range of the Plague Scroller, but still 2 of them keeping down, and the War Walker has killed the Plague Caster here. So the third turn for Death Guard and the end of the game, the Death Guard units move towards the War Walker. The Death Shroud have a long way to walk up here. The Plague Marines come to the center, the Foul Blight spawn, and here I was thinking if I should fall back with the Plague Scroller to allow the Plague Marines and the Foul Blight spawn maybe to kill off the Dire Avengers, but then I couldn't shoot at the War Walker. So in the shooting phase, I declared the cannons on the 2 remaining Dire Avengers, and then the mortar to target the War Walker if I was successful in clearing them out, and the Plague Scroller even in the engagement range now it's still hitting on 4+ with most of its weapons, so it kills the last 2 Eldar, and the mortar actually takes out the War Walker, ending the game and tabling the Eldar opponent in the 3rd turn for a major Death Guard victory. So some post-game analysis and the key moments of the battle. I think before the game I was a bit worried of the psychic superiority of the Eldar with multiple casters, and they had also a speed advantage over the Death Guard. I think with another type of deployment, maybe that the Eldar could have stopped me from completing the actions, and also I think that the Eldar first turn there was a missed opportunity there to make the game more even. What actually turned out with the Plague Scroller could absorb basically every enemy fire here, and the Eldar had positioned themselves very dangerously in the middle of the board with the Plague Marines and the Death Shrouds and the Plague Scroller and the Plague Caster making a classic pincer movement, ending the game in Death Guard turn 2 basically. But in the alternative Eldar turn 1, we discussed after the game, maybe the most prudent way would be that the Wave Serpent should have unloaded its content that could move up to the objective, taking hold of the objective and maybe doing even the lockdown mission. And then the Wave Serpent could have flown here to be able to charge and tie down the Plague Scroller. The jet pikes and the Viper could come, try to shoot the psychic powers of the Eldar, trying to make mortal wounds on the Death Shroud. I could only deny 1 psychic power, let's say, and shooting, and maybe they could have killed a couple of Death Shroud. And I also believe that the Farseer could have come here and made the charge on the Plague Caster. Plague Caster is not so strong to survive. I mean, it's not very durable. He's quite an okay melee character, but he doesn't have any invul saves, etc. So maybe with another style of play here, more aggressive style, maybe this side would have taken a lot of casualties. Maybe it wouldn't have been game over for Death Guard, but I would have had my Plague Marines and etc. But maybe it would have been a more closely fought game. At the end, all Death Guard units did their part and did it well, and I was well represented in the shooting phase, in the fight phase, and the psychic phase, winning by a powerful knockout in Death Guard 2, turn 2, and really happy for all the units and the abilities that I have in my army so far. And so this is a nice build that combines a lot of both shooting, fighting, and psychic powers. So post-game Crusade upgrades for the Death Guard. the Playcaster was the only unit I lost, and he passed his out of action roll. If you roll a 1, maybe you get a battle scar or something like this. And then the Plagueburst Scroller and the Death Shroud Terminator killed vehicles, so they got XP for agendas. The Plague Marines killed their third unit, getting additionally 1 XP. So for every 3 units the Plague Marine a unit is killing across all the games, it gets more experience. The Plagueburst Scroller now tallied up its 4th unit killed in 3 games. And winning this battle allowed me to select 2 units to be marked for greatness. So I selected the Death Shroud and the Foul Blightspawn, bringing both of their XP up to 6. So then they gain a battle honor, they gain a rank, so they become blooded rank. So for the Foul Blightspawn, I was thinking to upgrade the weapon. So in the weapon upgrade table, I rolled a 6, which adds 1 damage to the Plague Sprayer, bring it up to a damage 3. So that's huge, especially for the next game where I will be facing the White Scar Eradicators or Aggressors with Wound 3 models. So now my Foul Blightspawn is back in the good old days, like in the previous Codex with a straight damage 3 weapon. For the Death Shroud, I rolled for a battle trait on the infantry table, and I got reroll once to hit, and this is really good also for their, not so much their shooting, of course, it's auto hit gauntlets, but in the fight phase, to not miss their scythes and cleaves, rerolling ones is really huge. So now most of my army with these good battle honors I've been getting can reroll once to hit, so there is no point in bringing a lord at this moment. The Malignant Playcaster only received 1 experience point for the game, but it brought him up also in rank. So watching as he's quite vulnerable to shooting, and if somebody comes close to fight, he doesn't have any invul saves, I chose a Crusade relic, the Conversion Field, and this gives a 4+ invul save, and modified 6s on his save roll give a mortal wound to a closest enemy that is engagement range with him. So otherwise, yeah, as I said, it was good to do this before I upgrade his psychic powers. I thought that it's better to also give him some more protection, as he is he's quite important for the team to work well. So all in all, I have been victorious all the fights so far. I've killed a lot of units, I've been doing the agendas, and I've been winning the battles. So I'm accumulating now a lot of Crusade points and battle honors for this Death Guard force. And then the Eldar, they had to pass. They have to do their out of action roll on all passed, but the Viper didn't. It rolled a 1 and it received a battle scar. But luckily, you can pay 1 requisition point to remove a battle scar, and you gain 1 requisition point to play a battle. So all in all, the Eldar spent the 1 requisition point not to have the Viper with a battle scar. The Wave Serpent reaches the blooded rank and rolled for a battle trait on the vehicle's table, and it can now regain 1 lost wound in the command phase. The Wave Serpent has a lot of wounds, 13 wounds, and also with the shield, it has a type of disgusting resilience for being shot at. So with regaining the lost wound, it could be more survivable in the future. And the Warlock Skyrunner was marked for greatness, hoping to increase his rank at future games. So some final thoughts. So the Death Guard are inexorably advancing in this crusade, scoring. Putting more victories in the tally. This small wretched patrol, wretched plague company is really, I found it very well rounded and a well-oiled mean machine that packs a huge punch for 650 points and a lot of wounds and a lot of durability in these small units here. So in the psychic phase, the plague caster with the wretched upgrades can really do a lot of mortal wounds and do a lot of things. He wasn't as crucial in this battle. In the shooting phase, the Plagueburst Crawler with the entropy cannons and the mortar has been instrumental. The Foul Blightspawn now with upgraded weaponry is really good, and the Plague Marines as well. They also do their share in the shooting. The Blight Launcher always manages to kill something in any game I play, basically. And then in the fighting, Now the Death Shroud has added a lot of fight melee power. They just pulverized the Wave Serpent, or whatever they would have gotten into their fight with in this game. They would have been probably killing in one turn. Also, the Plague Marines didn't make it into melee, but the flail is so strong. The Plague Knives are so much better now. So these five Plague Marines with one flail can do quite a lot of damage in melee as well. Also, the durability is strong in this team. The Plagueburst Crawler, toughness 8, disgusting resilience, 5+ demonic save is not easy to take out. The Death Shroud have the bodyguard rules to protect a bit the squishy characters here, and the Foul Blight Spawn's revolting stance vats that is one of the greatest abilities to allow us to fight first, even if charged. In this game, it wasn't used, but it's of course very helpful to have this ability. And of course, in the Crusade mode, it doesn't hurt that I've been rolling extremely well for all the battle honors I've received so far. We decided to be rolling with a few rerolls, but I've been more lucky in those rolls. So I don't know how the other opponents can catch me and my good units here that have been upgraded. So we have to think about something. And next up is the Death Guard versus the White Scar, 650 points. So this brings the conclusion of the video. What do you think about this small battle report? What do you think about the battle and the units and their performance? Please leave some comments. If you like this video, please press like and subscribe to the channel, where I'll be bringing you more Warhammer videos, Death Guard with a Death Guard focus, of course. And yeah, I would like to hear suggestions for future videos in the comments. And with his words, General Yanis is signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.